Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is gonna be really difficult to explain, as you can already see. Um yeah, let's get on with the update. Alright guys, as you can see, the Lasius Niger colony is growing so much. Every single day there's about 1 or 2 new nanidics, as you can see on the very right hand side. 1 new nanidic. There's a huge batch of eggs right there, and there's still many more cocoons. So I'll get to the locust slash grasshopper in a second, but if you can see right there, one of the workers is actually dragging it up. That is sadly the beetle, and sometimes the beetle actually walks down to the first floor where the colony is at, and the workers actually don't attack the beetle because they can't penetrate its hard shell. But this time, somehow the beetle was overcrowded and was attacked, and where it later died. Its head was chewed off, and I only noticed it because it's been there for about like 3 days. And then on the 4th day when I checked on it, after I made that 10th video update, it sadly died. So about the grasshopper slash locust, as you can see, it's on top of the water tower. So when I was trying to remove the grasshopper slash locust, I grabbed it by its leg, and when I was trying to take it out, the leg actually snapped off, and the grasshopper slash locust propelled itself because of the force. I was like trying to take it out and it wouldn't go through, and the leg just snapped off and it just flew straight toward the water tower. But luckily it didn't really go that far, and it didn't hit the colony, but it just landed right there at the tip. And so the workers eventually put on some substrate on it, a lot of substrate actually, and they're attempting to bury it, I believe, but I'm not too sure. So a few days later, the Lasius Niger workers moved their cocoons onto the bottom of the floor, and I think they do this because sometimes the larva, as you can see on the far right side, is covered by substrate which they use to help them make their own cocoons. So I'm guessing the larvae need a lot of space, which causes the workers to move their cocoons down below. There are about 70 individuals, including the queen, 25 to 30 cocoons, about 15 larvae, and 50 to even 100 eggs. Here's a closer look inside of the colony, and if you've noticed, the queen's gaster has actually shrunken quite a bit, and then her time when I showed her during that time-lapse feeding of the spider. And the reason for this is because during that time it was spring, and spring is the time when queens start coming out of hibernation, and once they come out of hibernation, they're ready to start laying eggs. But since it's already almost the start of winter, the queens are starting to go into hibernation again, and they've started to stop producing as much eggs than before. Moving straight along with the outworld, many things have changed, especially with the sand mound, so let's go over some of them. Starting with the sand mound, they've already made so many tunnels that goes towards the branch and also to the plant that I can't actually see where they go. And the only times I can actually see them is during when they're near the side of the acrylic. So yeah. They've also started to place substrate on top of the plant. The only reason why I think they would do this is because whenever I water their outworld, I sometimes put water on their branch and also on the plant. So they probably just put substrate on all of the water droplets, but it's anyone's guess. When I first started placing the Galileo liquid ant feeders into their outworld, they all drank it, but then afterwards they always place substrate in the little mini holes. But since I've continued placing the Galileo liquid ant feeder inside of their outworld, they've discontinued that, and they've just stopped putting substrate in the holes. Lastly, to the far left, that is their garbage pile. Now, I try watering other parts of their outworld and not their garbage pile because I feel like that might mess up their garbage habits, and they might place in other places like the plant. So I always place water all around of their outworld except for the garbage pile. So next is their behavior. Now, I don't think I've ever talked about my Lasius Niger colony's behavior, but I think now's a good time to talk about it. During the night, there was 1 to 4 workers, but during the day, there was sometimes 8 to 10. There could be even more if there's food that needs to be taken care of, or if their outworld is watered. It's pretty early in the day, so there's only a few workers on the surface, but see what I do once I water their outworld. Alright, so putting in the water now. So as you can see, some of the workers are actually starting to work in it, and it's pretty moist, so it's perfect for ants to start digging. So this is about 30 minutes later, and there's already 10 workers working on the sand mound. So you can see how many workers actually come up to the surface whenever there's something to do. And yeah, so as you saw in the time lapses, once the workers came up from the bottom up to the surface, they all started working on the sand mounds, and that just goes to show how many workers actually work on it. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, since I have decided to start working a little bit more seriously on these type of videos, since my audience is growing bigger and bigger by the second. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to see more, please like, subscribe, or even share so that the news gets spread. And I'm Ender Ants, another fellow ant YouTuber, and I am signing off.